Once, the Buddha was residing at the Jetavana monastery in Sāvatthi. During this time, many people in the city gave alms generously to the Buddha and the community of monks. Among the residents was a very poor man who could barely sustain himself, yet he wished to participate in the noble act of offering alms. The only thing the man had was some husk powder, a food of the lowest quality. Still, with determination, he made a sweet cake out of it, hoping to personally offer it to the Buddha. On the day of almsgiving, after people had offered gruel, it was suggested that sweets should be given. At this moment, the poor man humbly presented his husk powder sweet cake to the Buddha. Moved by the man's sincerity, the Buddha, with compassion, accepted his simple offering. He consumed the sweet cake, choosing it over the many lavish sweets offered by others. Afterward, the Buddha returned to the Jetavana monastery. When the news of this humble act reached the city, it created a stir. Kings, royal relatives, and ministers approached the poor man, offering him large sums of money in exchange for the merit he had earned by giving alms to the Buddha. Unsure of what to do, the man sought the Buddha's guidance. He asked, "Should I give away the merit I earned, even for money?" The Buddha responded, "Whether you give merit freely or receive something in return, sharing merit is always a good deed." Following this advice, the man generously gave his merit to everyone in the city. In return, he was showered with immense wealth, receiving 900,000 pounds of gold. The king of Kosala, hearing of the poor man's newfound fortune and the merit he had earned, granted him the prestigious office of treasurer, symbolized by the gift of a white parasol. Later that day, as the monks gathered in the Dhamma hall to listen to the evening sermon, they discussed the remarkable rise of the poor man who had offered the humble husk powder sweet cake. When the Buddha arrived and took his seat, he asked, "What were you discussing before I arrived?" The monks replied, "We were speaking of the great honor bestowed upon the poorest man, who offered alms to you." The Buddha smiled and said, "This is not the first time he has received such great wealth from offering a humble sweet cake. In a previous life, he did the same." Curious, one monk respectfully requested, "We know this present story, but we do not know the past story. Please, reveal to us the tale from the past." The Buddha then shared the following Jataka story. Long ago, in the city of Benares, there lived a righteous king named Brahmadatta. The citizens of Benares often worshipped the tree deities with offerings of flowers, incense, and food. One day, a poor man who had nothing to offer approached a castor oil tree. He saw others making offerings to their trees, but realized he had no similar wealth. Instead, he thought, "Let me offer what I have, this husk powder sweet cake." After presenting his humble offering, the man felt embarrassed. He thought, "The deities eat divine ambrosia. How can my deity eat something as poor as husk powder?" So, he took the sweet cake back to eat it himself. Suddenly, the deity of the castor oil tree appeared, showing only half his body. "Oh man," the deity said, "whatever you give, your deity should receive as well. Offer what you have." Hearing this, the man placed the sweet cake back as an offering. The deity then spoke again, "Why do you offer to me a small and weak tree?" The man humbly replied, "I am poor, and this tree is all I have to honor." The deity, touched by the man's sincerity, revealed a secret. "Buried beneath this tree are treasure pots, neck to neck. Dig them up and present them to the king. You will be rewarded with the office of treasurer." Following the deity's instructions, the man unearthed the treasure and presented it to the king. Impressed by the wealth, the king granted the poor man the title of treasurer. With his newfound fortune, the man practiced generosity and earned great merit. In time, he passed away and was reborn according to his deeds. The Buddha concluded, "The poor man from that time is the same man who offered me the husk powder sweet cake today. And the deity of the castor oil tree was none other than me, the Buddha." The Buddha then gave the moral of the story. Every offering, no matter how small, has value. No gift given with a pure heart is ever too little.